just enough to be wild for the evening. We fall apart to start believing. I know this feeling drips down my body in the sun. This is the real thing, and I am overcome. Our hands are reeling, my heart beating like a band. Lift up the ceiling as I open up my hands. Oh, this is chemical. Oh, lost in a gold rush. Oh, this is the promise of reckless and ruthless love. We build it up with songs of broken, caught in the rough between us in a moment. I know this fire reaches the corners of my truth. Oh, I am lighter when I'm reflecting you. Tonight I'm all in. I trade my past for something new. I'll let it reach me to see what this can do. Moving, moving, moving. It's moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Going moving, moving, moving. Going moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Going moving, moving, moving. Going moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, I know this feeling drips down my body in the sun. This is the real thing, and I am overcome. I know this feeling drips down my body in the sun. This is the real thing, and I am overcome. Our hands are reeling, my heart beating like the band. Lift up the ceiling as I open up my hands. Oh, this is chemical. Oh, caught in a gold rush. Oh, this is the promise of reckless and ruthless love.
Happy Thursday morning. And this isn't just any Thursday morning. It's Christmas Eve. And I don't know what your plans are, but tonight, at every campus, Lake Stevens campus is in person. Woodin Mill campus is in person. Mill Creek campus, we want to have 1,000 cars together in tonight in 2 different services. And I get excited about this because I believe that God's going to do something this Christmas Eve that's completely different than any other Christmas Eve. I just trust that God's going to use this, and invite your friends. Make this meaningful. Talk to your kids. This is a teaching moment. This is about knowing why we exist, how important it is for the coming of Christ, for our family, for our personal lives. So I encourage you to make that a priority. Let me talk to you about a couple things. Number one, GC 365. If you've been reading along with us, and I know many of you have been following these daily devotions, this has been a daily habit for you. You know how much of an encouragement this is. So I'm asking you be my advocate. Would you today? Would you get as many people as you can to sign up for GC 365? The reason I'm asking you to do that is because this is a transformative thing. It's going to change people's lives. In just a little bit, January 1, we're going to start. I want 2,000 people to start together. So I'm asking you right now, make that a priority. Invite your friends. Help them download the YouVersion app. Help them get the New Living Translation and the One Year Bible. Join us in the plan. We'll put you together with a group of people, and for the next 365 days, we're going to read the Bible together. Now, we're going to make it easy for you to understand a little bit, because we're going to have daily thoughts that are going to be posted every day. There'll be a podcast you can listen to if you want to, or there's a vodcast, a video cast. It'll be live Facebook, all these different ways that we're going to make it live so that you can get a chance to understand a little bit from the point of view of all of us as staff. Now, our staff people are all doing this, so we've all taken turns picking different days, and you're going to see some incredible thoughts. Our staff have been reading the Bible together as a discipline, because we want to know God's Word. We want to live by God's Word. We want to understand God's Word. It'll change your life. I challenge you, get you and your friends to do this. 365 days, make it priority. Now, Christmas Eve. What's the reading today? Well, if you join me in the reading today, you'll know that there's a couple of different readings. The first is Zechariah 8. There's a promise of the blessings of Jerusalem. I like this picture here, where at one point in verse 16 he says, "You must do this: tell the truth to each other, render verdicts in your courts that are just, and lead to peace." And here's what he's saying: in those days, there's a day when God's going to change the future of Jerusalem. I'm just reminded today that in all of our lives, our future, our history can be changed just by telling each other the truth, which comes from God, and understanding the truth in our life. Now, if you're reading along with us, the next reading you're going to see is Revelation 16. Revelation 16. When you read the book of Revelation, let me remind you, focus on the things that you understand, not the things that you don't understand. And there's all kinds of preachers from all over the place that will tell you what Revelation means, and none of them agree. So here's the good news. You can come up with your own opinion and probably be just about as correct. But there are things in here that are completely understandable, such as today in this chapter, in verse 15. Jesus said this to his disciples: "Look, I come as unexpectedly as a thief." Now we just stop here. You know, tonight, Christmas Eve night, the Christmas star is supposed to show up. Just after sunset, we're going to stand outside with our candles. We're going to light it out. I'm hoping for a clear day. And I'm hoping that even if there's clouds, there'll be a break in the clouds and we can see the stars. The two planets come together, Saturn and Jupiter. Hasn't happened for 800 years. I don't know whether this is the coming of the Lord. But you know, it kind of gives me a little bit of hope. Wouldn't it be cool if we're all together celebrating Christmas Eve and all of a sudden Jesus comes? I guarantee you there's a whole lot of people that would be completely unexpecting this. Jesus said this: "I will come as unexpectedly as a thief. Blessed are those who are watching me, who will keep their clothes ready, so they won't walk around naked and ashamed." He's essentially saying the clothes that we wear is the righteousness of God. We put on the righteousness that comes from Jesus Christ. It's not our own righteousness. What we see in ourselves is that we have a bunch of junk. We have some past we need to get rid of. We have some stuff we have to change. But today, we can know that we put on His righteousness. And that's just a simple faith in Jesus Christ. That's what Christmas Eve's all about. Man, talk to your kids. Make this day a meaningful day. It's less about presents and more about Jesus. Less about the problems and more about Jesus. Less about politics and more about Jesus. Less about problems and more about Jesus. Make this a day that you put your faith in Jesus Christ. I really encourage you to do that. Well, you can read the Psalms, and you'll always get encouraged in the book of Psalms, and then it ends with Proverbs, and Proverbs always has some wise things to say. But the verse I wanted to share with you is, what if today God comes back? He'll come back unexpectedly. So I'm asking you today to be ready. Let me remind you as we close this out, again, invite your friends to Christmas Eve. Invite them. If you can't go in person, if you can't do the drive-in, if you can't go to the in-person, watch online. Be a part of us. Let's do this together. And let's just be ready. Maybe today's the day that Christ comes back. Who would have been expecting it? We would. We're going to be ready. So let me remind you, God works all things together for good to those that love Him. I love Him with all my heart. I know many of you love Him. He's going to work things out for you. He's working on your life. He's working on my life. So if you don't love Him, start loving Him today.